We got some potatoes, we got some garlic, we got some cornbread mix, and we got a rack of ribs. We're making ribs dinner. Please remember to wash your hands before handling any foodstuffs. Thank you. Also, sorry in advance about the poor lighting. The lighting fixture in my kitchen is currently broken. That's all it does. So until that gets fixed, it's not going to be too good with the lighting. First things first, preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And while that is warming up, we're going to go ahead and peel some of these potatoes here. Okay, so we've got our peeled potatoes here, and our oven is now officially preheated, so we are going to go ahead and start working on the garlic. Basically what we're going to do here is we're going to remove the outer papery layer, and then we're going to chop like a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch off of the tops of these. And this is what I mean right here. We've removed that outer papery layer and we've cut a little bit off. And next we're going to put these in little aluminum foil bundles with some olive oil, and then we're going to stick them in the oven. And just to show you what I mean right here, we've got our little garlic bundle in there, and we've got it in aluminum foil. We're going to put some olive oil on it now. Not too much, you just want a little bit. And then basically we're just going to close that and stick it in the oven. And we've got our 2 little bundles here, so they're going to go in the oven for about 20 minutes. Now, while the garlic is in the oven cooking, we're going to go ahead and you can either half these potatoes or cube them. I'm just going to cube them, but we're going to go ahead and get them cut up. Okay, potatoes have been cubed, so next we're going to stick them in the stock pot with some water that we're going to boil. Okay, so we got them in a stock pot here. I'm just going to go ahead and turn on the heat to about 8, and we're just going to wait for this to boil. Okay, the timer for our garlic just went off, so I'm going to pull it out and have a look at it. Okay, so I went ahead and looked in here at the garlic. It's not quite done, so I'm going to put it back in for another 20 minutes or so. Okay, as you can see here, the potatoes are now boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll turn the heat down a little bit to about 6, and then I'm going to go ahead and set a timer for about, I would say, 25 minutes. We want the potatoes to get nice and soft so you can stick a fork through them. Okay, I've just pulled the garlic out of the oven and it is definitely done now. It's nice and soft and brown, and it smells sweet rather than extremely garlicky, so that's how you can tell it's done. So the next thing we need to do is extract these out of the little, I don't know, you could call it like pods or whatever. We got about 9 minutes left on the potatoes, so I'm going to go ahead and do these while that's still going. And just to show you what I mean here, because the garlic is nice and roasted and soft, we can literally just pull it out with a fork like this, and it's actually quite sweet and delicious. Okay, potato timer has gone off. As you can see, it's just the regular time now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these potatoes drained out into a colander. Look at those steamy hot potatoes, baby. Yeah. Okay, so there's our potatoes, and over here we've got our stand mixer, and I'm just gonna put the potatoes in that bowl there with some other things, and we can mix it up. We got our potatoes in there now, and we've got a couple of other ingredients to add. We're going to take our roasted garlic and take it over here and put it right in this big old bowl. Next we're going to go ahead and melt about 1/2 stick of butter. There we go, and then this bowl is hot, so I need 2 hands, and I'm going to put it in there. Next we're going to go ahead and add some good old black pepper. And we're going to add some sea salt as well. Careful with this, you don't want to put too much. Okay, then we've got this all in here in our mixer bowl, and we're just going to turn it on. And we're just gonna go ahead and let that mix until it mixes into a nice mash of potatoes. Okay, we've got a beautiful, delicious mash of potatoes here. So now let's talk about cornbread. As you can see here on the side of the box, Jiffy always prints their stuff really clear. So we need to preheat the oven to 400, which it already is. And then we need, if you're doubling the recipe like me, you're gonna need 2 eggs and 2/3 cup of milk. We're just gonna go ahead and dump the cornbread mix in here. And the second box. And we're gonna go ahead and crack 2 eggs into here, but that's gonna require 2 hands. Okay, there's our eggs. Now we need 2/3 cup of milk. And there's 1/3. And 2/3. Okay. Now I'm just gonna take this here whisk and mix it all up until it's dough, basically. Okay, we've got our cornbread all nice and mixed up now, so now we can go ahead and start putting it in the muffin tin. All right, let's go ahead and grease this up. And then we can go ahead and start pouring our cornbread dough in here. Okay, so we've got our cornbread mix, dough, whatever you want to call it, all in the muffin pans. And we're going to put it in the oven for about 20 minutes. Alright, our timer's just gone off for our cornbread, so we're going to pull that out and have a look. Okay, these are looking amazing. I'm going to go ahead and poke all of them with a knife and see if any of them come out goopy in the middle. Okay, we've completed the poke test, as you can see with all the little holes there. None of them are goopy in the middle. That means all of them are done. So we can go ahead and set these aside and work on the last piece of this recipe. Okay, so I got these cook in a bag ribs, and as you can see here, we need the 400-degree oven, which we have, and it's going to be for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And it's also, we have to flip it over like this and cut a little hole here. And then we can basically just put it in the oven. Okay, I don't know how well you can see it here, but I have put a little hole in the top here, and we're just going to go ahead and stick this in the oven for 1 hour and 20 minutes. And just in case anyone's freaking out about it, these are cook-in bags, so this bag is meant to go in the oven. Don't worry, I'm not about to melt plastic on my ribs. Okay, 1 hour and 20 minutes later, the timer has gone off. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out those ribs and have a look. These look awesome. I'm gonna let them cool down for a little bit, then we'll cut them open and we can start putting them in containers. We've got our mashed potatoes, our cornbread muffins, and our rack of ribs and our containers. So we're gonna start by cutting the ribs up into smaller pieces and putting those in the containers first. Here we go. We've got our ribs all cut up and put in the different containers. Now we're going to go ahead and scoop some mashed potatoes in here. Container, 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 until there's no more mashed potatoes left. We got potatoes. So now we have our cornbread muffins. We're going to go ahead and stick a couple of those into each one of these. All right, we got 2 cornbread muffins in each of these, and there's still a couple to snack on for old RG when he stops recording. So there we go. We've got 5 relatively even portions of rib dinner. That's all I got for you, and I get out of my kitchen.